Yes, Mary. Okay, good.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Good morning. It is my privilege and my honor to introduce one of our own to you, James Metzler. And for those of you who have been around the center for a while, more like years, you will know James as a vital member of the Namaste Community. He has done so much for this center that so many people are unaware of, but he has been a bastion of our community. He's been a tremendous friend, a tremendous support and encouragement to the center in a myriad of ways. He really doesn't need very much introduction. I think everybody knows James. And Terry, your song was indeed Follow Your Heart. And with that,
Jim, well, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, I did want to thank you. That song was perfect. I don't know if everyone can hear me or not, but around 3 weeks ago, Charlotte called me and she said, I'm going to be out of town May 15th. Would you be willing to give a talk? And I said, a talk? Well, well, I'll tentatively say yes. And she said, oh, you said yes. And I said, okay, I guess I am going to give a talk. And, so then, of course, I started thinking about what am I going to talk about. And I've had, obviously, a lot going on. This journey started really, my moving journey started back in October when my mom died. And, of course, I had a lot of things to do, which obviously there's the estate to close, there's a funeral, getting through all that. Around that time I had heard about this book, and it's going to sound like an organizational / business book, but at its heart it's really a very spiritual, to me, very spiritual, philosophical book. And it's called Getting Things Done. It's by David Allen. Now, David Allen's philosophy is that the mind is for having ideas, it's not for holding information. And the ultimate goal is to have your mind free so you can be absolutely 100% present at any time to really enjoy life. Now, of course, how do we do that? When you have a lot of things on your plate, I have things to do. What are the ways that we can get through this? So he has 5 steps of helping to clear the mind, and it's a system of this. I'm just going to read the steps first, and then I'll talk a little bit about each of them. 1 is capturing, the next is clarifying, the 3rd is organizing, 4th is reflecting, and the 5th is engaging. So you need to use your mind to get things off of your mind. Any would, could, or should constantly held only in the psyche creates irrational and unresolvable pressure 24/7. So the first item is, to me, a very interesting one, and it's called capturing. So let's say you're driving down the street and you think, oh, Sarah's birthday's next week, I need to get her a card. And then a song comes on the radio, you forget all about Sarah's birthday card. But in your mind, that's created what he terms as an open loop. And those open loops are constantly running through our minds until we do something with them. So we need to capture that. So let's say 3 days later, someone says the word birthday and you think again, oh yeah, Sarah's birthday's next week. He has a system of now you can use your cell phone. What I happen to do is have little pads of paper, all places, I have one even in the bathroom, I have one at my desk, I have one near the TV, I have one in my car where I can just quickly scribble down, say Sarah's birthday. So at that point, once you've captured, he also has a really interesting podcast. It's on gettingthingsdone.com, where it's like a guided meditation where he'll sit and he'll say, all right, let's think about all the things you need to do around the house. So you sit with your pad, he kind of talks you through these, start writing all these things down, all these little loops that you need to capture. Once they're captured, then you need to clarify them. And the way to clarify them is to have an inbox. And so let's say you pick up all your scraps of paper, you have a broken remote control you can put in there if it's a large item like I need to refinish a desk, then you write that on a little piece of paper, and then you go through your inbox. And one of the things he talks about with the inbox is that you start at the top and you don't skip things, because if you skip things, then they remain as these open loops. So you deal with whatever's on top and work through. Same thing with emails. You knock them out as they go. So a great rule that he has is it's the 2-minute rule. If the thing that you pick up is something that could be done in 2 minutes, you do it right then and there. Change a light bulb on the porch, 2-minute thing. If the item involves more than one step, like you don't have a light bulb, so you need to go to the store to get the light bulb, then that goes on your next action list. So I need to change the light bulb, my next action is go to the store to get that. So you organize your list, go through, and then have these next actions. The organizational part after that comes in the form of, for me it was folders. I got different folders that things went into. So I have a next action folder. I have a waiting for folder, like let's say for instance, one of the things on your list is doing your taxes. Well, I'm still waiting to get the final statement from my investment broker, so that would go in your waiting for file. Really nothing that you can do with that folder for the minute. He has one of my favorite ones. It's a category he calls someday maybe. So someday maybe I want to learn French, I want to play chess better, whatever. That's something that you're not really going to work on now, but it's more of a kind of almost a dreams category. And I just thought that was great, because there are always things that I think we think about that we would like to do someday, and then getting to the next action. The fourth is called reflecting. He considers it a sacred hour. His is on Sundays since he's still in the business world. So it's an hour of, he calls it his weekly review, going through his folders, checking things, seeing where those projects are at, clearing out things that may not be relevant anymore. And that he said that really helps set up his week, to get his mind off things. Like he never has to think about or worry that he's gonna forget something in the future. He talks about his calendar, that the calendar is another sacred thing for him. The only things that need to go on your calendar are things that would be done that exact day, like a doctor's appointment. He said if you write things like, I want to exercise on Tuesday, something might come up, you don't get to exercise, that's another thing that just basically goes on to Wednesday. So he said to really take that hour and just, you know, he had children, so they called it daddy time. You know, it was Sunday from 7 to 8 is daddy time, don't disturb him, basically. And then last is engaging, deciding the best action choices. So let's say your flight's delayed at an airport, you've got 15 minutes, you know, is there something I can knock out in 15 minutes? But the whole idea is to get those things off your plate and into an area where you can really be conscious. 2 Fridays ago, we had a past life regression here, and when I was there, as much as I'm, you know, this is obviously an ongoing system, and I've only been into this for about 6 months now, but I literally was lying there trying to listen to him, but my mind was wandering. I've got this estate sale coming up Friday and Saturday, if anybody needs anything, got information about things. I got the estate sale, I'm moving. I had a very interesting thing when I was thinking about moving to Florida, when I was awake, conscious, 100% on board with that. When I was about to go to sleep or when I was just waking up, I had fear about this. Just, am I doing the right thing? My sister's still here, you know, like she's kind of my closest family left. Should I move that far? Like, and the answer I got from God or the universe is it's okay to have some fear about this, you know, that this is a new adventure. Of course, there is going to be some level of fear in anything new that you're doing. But for me, this system has really helped me kind of lessen that fear. It's helped me be able to sleep better, thinking, all right, I know I've got these things coming up, but I've got them somewhat organized. So there were some, like I was saying, it really, even though it is an organizational system, I do believe it's a, you know, very much a spiritual thing. So I just had a couple of quotes that I wanted to share from this. I should have had these marked a little better, okay, the short-term memory part of your mind, the part that tends to hold all your incomplete, undecided, and unorganized stuff, functions much like RAM, random access memory on a computer. Your conscious mind is like the computer screen, focusing tool, not on storage space. So he's saying basically, our computers are full of lots of stuff. We can only focus on what's on the screen, but we know all that other stuff is back there waiting to be accessed when we need it, if we want to meet it, need it. So I did have the same sort of fear about giving this talk that I had about the moving thing, and I thought, you know, I know all you people, and I love all you people, and I've felt just so much a part of this place. I'm very much going to miss it, and all the outpouring, not just when my mom died, but from the nice party that y'all gave me a couple weeks ago, was really touched my heart. You will always be in my heart, each and every one of you. And my sister is staying here. She's going to still live here, so I will be back to visit. And I thank you for everything, and I hope that all made sense. I didn't ramble, and I thought about this moment like it's going to be over at some point, and I can move on to my next thing.
I love the colorful folder.
Thank you. Yes, they were.
Oh,
Thank you.
See you again.